Like, comment, share in this video, please, guys. Like, please, guys. My goal is to get to 50,000 subscribers. Guys, my goal is to get to 50,000 subscribers by the end of this year. Can we please make it happen? Please, I know we can. Please, like, before you even start watching this video, like, comment, and subscribe already. Please. Hey, what's up everybody, and welcome back to yet another YouTube review. This time around I've got the Mazda CX-30, and personally I think that Mazda do make some really great cars. Now, it's either they make some really great cars that are priced really well, or they make really great cars that are priced absolutely horrible. Now, this is a true testament to the letter that I said in terms of this pricing of this car it's confusing. 597,000 rand for this specific model. And then you look at the starting price of the Mazda CX-5, and then you're like, maybe let me just get into a CX-5. Anyway, before I do go on, don't forget to watch a word from our sponsor.
Get it. Get it. Yeah.
Now in this review, I'm going to cover the exterior looks of this car, which I do think look really good. I'm going to cover the interior, which is an absolutely gorgeous place to be in. The sound, everything in that interior is really well put together. Then I'm going to do the drive, which I think also is another area that they nailed. So yeah, let's get straight into this review. Now, when it comes to the exterior of this car, this is the carbon edition.
With it, I actually do appreciate it because you don't have to be spending time always looking to touch, because you control everything with this iDrive wheel, essentially with this wheel right on here, and you can control exactly what you want to do. And I think as owners, it'll take you a week maximum, and you know exactly where what you're doing. So this is much appreciated from Mazda. As I know everybody in the industry saying, no, it must be touchscreen. And then when they give you guys touchscreens, you guys are like, no, there's too much functions in the touchscreen. So I think this is a cool touch. Still have physical buttons for your climate controls, which is also a nice touch because you don't have to look into screens for you to touch, and that is quite cool. Place here for your wireless charger, 2 cup holders, your volume, physical volume knob is still on here. You've got a place here to change your different driving modes, which is also nifty. You don't have to look, or things these days have become so difficult in driving, and when you see Mazda keeping things traditional and where they need to be, that I appreciate that a lot. This armrest can slide about for you to easily slot things in there. It's got 2 Type-Cs, and it's got massive space. Let me just try and open this. It's got massive space in here for you to store whatever you want. I'm putting keys right now, and it also has a 12-volt socket. Now, I do like the stitching in this car. Everything has been detailed, and the stitching actually matches the color of these peanut butter seats. I do like the seats a lot, and it just brings so much character into somewhat would have been a dark cabin if these were black seats. You've got a cabby holder right on there. You've got your air vent controllers right on there. The Bose sound system in this interior, I still maintain that Mazda knows how to make a sound system. I mean, Bose sound systems are just really good. I mean, I've enjoyed it in a Porsche. I'm enjoying it in Mazda products a lot, and they are just really amazing. This seat is electrically adjustable with memory for only the driver, whereas the passenger is manually adjustable, which then becomes a bit of a downside for me, especially for that 597,000 price tag, because why don't you just have electrically adjustable seats for both driver and passenger? You can view outside of the cabin properly. It's such a nice driving position. The seats are absolutely comfortable. You've got a place here for you to put your sunglasses, which is quite cool. A manually operated sunshade with a little sunroof. I think had it gotten a panoramic sunroof, it would give in so much character, because this, no oaks. But yeah, that is the interior, and let's jump into the rear just to see exactly how comfortable it is in that space, because it is somewhat of a small car, and this is where I beg the question then, for such a price, then why not just go CX-5, because you will have more space. But yeah, that's the interior. Let's jump in the rear before we go for the drive. Now, when you jump into the rear seats, and you can already see, this is my driving position, right? And in most cars that I always say, gee whiz, look at the legroom, but it's tough, and I'm not the tallest of people, so you can understand that if there's a taller person within your family, they're going to struggle a lot in this rear. 2 fingers are struggling to get into there, and I'm just like, 597,000 rand, just get into a CX-5 rather. You know, you don't have 2 USB ports right here in the rear, so you only have essentially 2 USB ports in the entire car for 597,000 rand. So do you see where I'm going with this now? It's starting to drive a hard bargain. You've got 2 cup holders right onto here on this armrest, which I do appreciate. If you guys know me, you know, this is fine because it's not mounted within the space for you to. This is cool. Yeah, and it's quite dark in here as well in the rear. Whereas, you know, if you had a panoramic sunroof, some light, you know, light fools you into thinking that there's a lot of space. And because there is no light in this rear, you can feel that you are kind of cramped up in here. And that's it. Again, you also don't have a seat pocket here, but you've got one on the passenger. Like, I don't get it. I need somebody from a manufacturing perspective to tell me, does it cost way much more to just add the same thing on here? Because I hate inconsistencies. If you're gonna do something, do it. If you're not gonna do it, don't do it, rather. Because now, like, come on, man. Anyway, let's go for that drive. There's nothing more to speak about in the rear space, but this car does have 7 airbags, which is a very nice touch. The driver gets knee airbags, so that's also cool. So 6 plus 1, so 7 airbags overall. And there's a host of safety systems in this car, but I'll talk about that as we go now for the drive. Let's run.
So when I jump inside and I get into the driver's seat of the Mazda CX-30, the drive is absolutely comfortable. I don't want to lie to you. It's something that you don't get in most compact SUVs, or, you know, I don't want to say this, but in most Chinese SUVs. The drive is so solid. It just does what it's meant to do. It doesn't whine, it doesn't fuss. The 6-speed transmission works perfectly. To be honest with you, I've been driving this car in its normal mode. I've not played around in terms of trying to get into a sporty setting. The steering wheel is firm enough. You'll actually think that you're already in a sporty setting. I do like how it drives, you know. And 7.8 liters per 100 kilometers is not too bad. My only problem is that I feel like this tank is quite small because I got it with 450 kilometers of range, and I don't think that is sufficient. I would appreciate more than 550, and I remember my brother called me Smirk. His channel is linked in the description below. He said he got 550 kilometers of range, but I haven't gotten anything close to that. And I mean, it's doing 7.8 liters per 100 kilometers over, I think I've done just under 500 kilometers, and it's a gift and a curse. I'm not too upset with it, to be honest with you guys, though. The suspension on this car is much better than the suspension that's in the Mazda CX-60. In that model, that car does have a firmer suspension, and I would have appreciated a softer suspension there, whereas in here, it's perfectly balanced, really balanced, and I do like it. In terms of safety, I mentioned earlier on, you've got 7 airbags. The driver does get knee airbags, and you know, your knees are always safe. You don't get that sneeze in the knees to the disease that Tembisiete said if you do get into a mishap. And yeah, it's just a really solid car to drive. Really solid. I just don't think Mazda is putting a lot of work into marketing their cars. It's like they have given up into the country, in South Africa rather. It's like they've given up. There isn't a lot of marketing going into these cars. I mean, I always speak about, you know, how I would take the Mazda CX-60 over the BMW X320D because that, for me, is just a better car. That 3.3 inline is just a better car. Yes, I digress. I know I'm not driving that car right now, but it just goes to show how Mazda, for me, is not doing much into showing off their cars, and they've got really great cars. And true testament to that is this CX-30. It's a really great drive. The 2-liter engine, 121 kilowatts. You step on it, and it goes. You know, Mazda and their naturally aspirated engines. I love them. Sure, a turbo would help a lot with boost, but I'm pretty sure then there would be some lag. This, like I mentioned earlier on, this gearbox does what it's meant to do without any fuss, without any frill. So it is a good companion on a day-to-day, and people are comfortable when they come into this car. Before I do close off, I think where they have, you know, things somewhat wrong is the pricing. And I've been crying about the pricing, ever since I got into this car, because I personally believe that pricing could be much better in this car. It starts from 470,000 Rand, but from that 470,000 Rand, it's not a spec that most people are going to be getting. They're currently running a special where it is 470,000 rather, sorry, it's a special, so it doesn't start as 470,000 Rand. There's a special that they're currently running for CX-30s for 470,000 Rand, and it's not a carbon edition, it's individual. And I think most people will go for that, but the fact that there's no electronically operated tailgate and all this just becomes a little bit pricey. So yeah, I think Mazda do need to relook their pricing. And if they do relook their pricing, then this will then attract a lot of buyers, because having to think, the moment you have me thinking, let me rather buy a CX-5, then I think you've lost me already, because people will always opt for the bigger car. You will always opt for the bigger car because it just makes much more sense. So yeah, that is the Mazda CX-30 Carbon Edition review. It is a great package overall. They've done a lot of work onto this car, but pricing is letting them down. 121 kilowatts as well as 230 Newton meters of torque, more than sufficient power. So yeah, guys, do what you may with that information. But yeah, I think you'll be much more happier looking at somewhere else, to be honest with you guys. Up until next time, don't forget to always use the link in my bio to get a quote from Naked Insurance, and you can save you on some money. If you're in South Africa, don't forget to always keep left and pass right, guys. Peace out, everybody.